Hey guys, Bird Yu-Gi-Oh here. So I wanted to come at you today with my updated Ritual Beast deck with some really cool new support that came out in one of the last few sets. We'll get to that. I feel like this deck, it just has a perfect combination of control and aggression. It can go first and can go second. There's just a lot of cool stuff it does, and a lot of stuff that it does that the meta decks do not like. So without further ado, let's get right into this. Starting off with the card you want to see in all of your opening hands, Ritual Beast Tamer Elder. When you normal summon him, you can normal summon another Ritual Beast monster. Simply get your engine going because you really want to, you'd prefer to normal summon two, Ritual Beast Tamer and a Ritual Beast and a Spiritual Beast monster instead of special summoning, just because they can only be special summoned once per turn. So he's really, really good for getting everything going. And then for the other Tamers, just one when she's normal summoned, you'll be able to special summon a banished Ritual Beast monster. Lara is going to be able to special summon a Ritual Beast monster from your graveyard. And then Zephyr and Pilica, same thing, you can special summon a Ritual Beast from your graveyard. And then the other one that is also, this one is a Ritual Beast Tamer and also doubles as a Spiritual Beast monster, which comes up for our fusion summoning because they require a Ritual Beast Tamer and a Spiritual Beast monster to go into the fusions, so she can act as either one if you need it. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon any Ritual Beast monster from your deck or extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. So that's normally, obviously, you're going to go for an extra deck monster just for a free summon. She's really good. And then for our Spiritual Beast monsters, the best one by far is Kanahawk. Well, actually, I guess not by far, because Kanahawk and Rampengu are both really nice to open with. So Kanahawk, you can just banish any Ritual Beast card from your deck, which kind of gets your engine going. And then Rampengu is going to banish a Ritual Beast monster from your extra deck, and then also send a Ritual Beast monster of the same type to the graveyard from your deck. So again, depending on this instance, they're both just really, really good. And then we play one Apelio. He's very important for certain combos because he can banish a Ritual Beast card from your graveyard. So basically get a Ritual Beast that's in your graveyard and move it to the banish zone for whatever you need that for. And then one Petalfin, basically just to have another name. It's kind of the worst one. The effect comes up every now and then. You can just banish a Ritual Beast card from your hand and then target a card your opponent controls and return that to the hand. But again, it's just for another name, another body on board. And then by far, still one of the best engines to play with this is the Windwitch Engine. So we're playing 3 Ice Spell. This is the one you always want to see. That's why you play 3 of it. If you control no monsters, you special summon this. And then you can special summon any Windwitch monster from your deck. And you can't special summon except for Wind type, which is totally fine. And they have to be, well, if you activate that effect, they have to be level 5 or higher Wind monsters, which is pretty much your Synchro or most of your fusions as well. So doesn't really affect you too much in any way. And then a lot of times the one you want to special summon off of Ice Spell is going to be Glass Spell, because when this card is normal or special summoned, you can add any Windwitch monster from your deck to your hand, and usually you're going to want to be special summoning or adding to your hand Snowbell, because while you control 2 or more wind monsters, which you would have both of them on board, you can just special summon this, and it's your tuner, so you can go into your Synchro plays. Really, really nice. And the new card that I was mentioning, that just, as soon as I saw the card, I immediately thought of this deck. One, because it's one of my favorite decks, but also it's just a really important card now for this deck, and that is Win the Wind Channeler. absolutely amazing card. Basically, you discard this and one other wind monster, which is all of these. They're all wind, so you'll have pretty much another wind. But you'll be able to add any wind monster with 1500 or less defense from your deck. You won't be able to activate monster effects except wind monsters, which again, that does not hurt you at all. Pretty much everything important you're going into is wind type. So this can search you your whole Windwitch Engine. It can search you almost all of any of your Ritual Beast, and more importantly, it's going to be searching your Elder, your Kanahawk, your Impengu, any of your super important cards that you need. This card searches for you, and it's just absolutely amazing. I really like it. And like I said, there's a lot of decks that you can put this in. This is just the first one I thought of. Really, any wind type deck would benefit from this card. So pick it up if you have any interest in that. But yeah, really like it. Definitely play it at 3. And then the last monsters we're playing, which we do have quite a few monsters in here, just a lot of cool engines, is a really good hand trap to play in this deck. Dimension Shifter. If you have no cards in your graveyard, which again, you can kind of adjust that if you need to, with cards like Apelio or our Link monster, but we'll get into that later. You just have no cards in your graveyard. You can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. Until the end of the next turn, any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead, which is going to kill most any deck. Most decks, especially meta decks, want to get cards to the graveyard, so if you're banishing them instead, they're going to hate you, and it's going to ruin their day most of the time. Especially, if you have, something like this, kind of stop them, and then you go into your Windwitch Engine, go into your Spiritual Beast Engine. It's really, really nice to have. So that's the monsters we're playing. I really like it. Perfect combination of, searching. You got our hand trap. That's really nice. So going first is really nice with this deck. And then again, we have an amazing option for going second. And then for our spells, our Ritual Beast, 1 bond. It's searchable if you need it. It's kind of the card I go into if I'm planning on OTKing, because you just banish any 2 Ritual Beast monsters you control and special summon a Ritual Beast monster from your extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. So say you're able to go into like 2 Apelios, attack, and then you can activate Bond to then take those 2 and go into another one, Guy Apelio, to just get a big monster on board. So yeah, that's most of the time what I use it for. But again, you can take any 2 of your Ritual Beast monsters that you have and just be able to special summon any fusion that you might need. So it's a cool card. You just need 1 of it though, because it is searchable. Ritual Beast Return. You just banish a Ritual Beast monster from your hand and then target one of your Ritual Beast monsters that is banished or in the graveyard and special summon it. So again, you're not crazy about special summoning your Ritual Beast monsters because you can only special summon them once per turn. But this is kind of a last resort card. If you have to have it, it's nice to have in the deck just in case. Emergency Teleport at 1. Honestly, if it was at 3, we would not play it at 3 in this deck. This is, again, just kind of an emergency situation card, because you're having to special summon a level 3 or lower psychic type. So if you need, obviously, one of your Tamers, it'll really help you there, but otherwise, you probably would not want to see it. Gold Sarcophagus. Again, banishing cards is not a problem with this deck. You use the banished cards a lot. So this is usually going to be just getting you a card to do something with, or a card for like when, if you open up when and Gold Sarcophagus, you'll be able to go into your fusion plays right away. Dimensional Fissure. Any monster sent to the graveyard is banished instead. So this is going to hurt your opponent and not really hurt you at all. Obviously, it's going to mess with some of your combos, but you can play around it a lot easier than your opponent. It's going to hurt them more than it's going to hurt you. So it's a nice card to have. And then our only draw power, Upstart Goblin. It's about the only one that you can play in this deck. Just kind of giving you more, one more card, one more chance of drawing one of these important cards. So it's nice to play. That is our spells. Pretty small lineup there. And then actually a fairly small lineup for our traps as well. Playing 3 Steeds. It's by far the best Ritual Beast trap card. If you control a Ritual Beast monster, you destroy monsters on the field up to the number of Ritual Beast monsters you control. Really, really good. And then 2 Ambush. And actually, in some cases, obviously, this would be preferred over Steeds, but usually you just want Steeds. Ambush is really nice because you'll be able to target a Tamer and a Spiritual Beast that is banished or in your graveyard and special summon them in defense position. After this card is activated, you won't be able to special summon except for Ritual Beast monsters for the rest of the turn. So sometimes it's kind of nice to do this during the end phase of your opponent's turn to just get you 2 free monsters that you can do whatever you want with next turn. And the final card is, again, just another cheap card. While this card's on the field, any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead. So Macrocosmos is just another form of just another problematic card that your opponent cannot really play around most of the time. So that is a deck, like I said, mostly monsters. That's just kind of how it worked out this time. For the extra deck, we have our main card we want to be looping. So it is important to have this at 3 because this is always the card your opponent is going to be trying to like Solemn Strike or just somehow negate this effect. Because this is basically your way of searching any Ritual Beast card. Really nice. Apelio is kind of your attacking card, 2600 attack. So yeah, like I said, if you have 2 on the board, it's sometimes nice. Your opponent won't be able to, it's unaffected by other cards' effects until the end of the damage step, so they're not going to be able to mirror force you, not that anyone does anymore, but protects you during the damage step, or until the end of the damage step. Petalfin, this card cannot be destroyed by card effects, so sometimes it's nice, 2800 defense, to just kind of sit on this. If you have a Steeds, you can just tag this out for 2, 1 Ritual Beast Tamer and 1 Spiritual Beast monster, and then destroy 2 monsters your opponent controls. It's just a nice card to end on sometimes. And then we have 2 Ulti Guy Apelio. Basically, you have 2 of them. Ritual Beast Tamer Winda can special summon that. And also, as I mentioned before, your Bond will be able to special summon that out too. But it requires a Ritual Beast Ulti monster. So one of these, a Tamer and a Spiritual Beast monster. And then our link is going to be Ulti Kamen Falcos. This card is really nice because you can banish a Ritual Beast card from your graveyard, and then you'll gain an additional normal summon, which is really nice. And also your Ritual Beast monsters this card points to gains 600 attack and defense. So again, it will help you with your OTKs. And then our Windwitch synchros that we're playing is, of course, Winterbell. It's just our 7, basically, that we're playing. Another 7 is Clearwing Synchro Dragon. Again, a wind is what we want. And then the main reason for playing that engine is to get into a Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. That is just super hard for your opponent to get around. And then a Stardust Dragon, again, just another decent one after you already make a Clear Wing or Crystal Wing. If you need to make another Synchro or can, Stardust is kind of nice. And the last card is just a rank 4 Xyz, Lightning Chidori. It's just a nice one. Again, it's a wind type. Requires 2 level 4 winds, and we have quite a few of those, so thought throwing that in there was kind of nice. But yeah, that's the deck, guys. I really, really like the way this plays, especially with this new win. Really, really helps the deck out. And with the Windwitch Engine, you have plenty of power to defeat your opponent with this deck. It's really fun. So try it out, guys. It's not too expensive at all. Yeah, and we'll catch you on the next one.